Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. Today we're going to be joining the family bakery and trying to become Grandma's favorite in Jumble Jam. In Jumble Jam, you are going to be displaying an array of goodies, of sweets and croissants and things. You are going to be deploying your control tokens in order to claim those goodies and then using them in turn to complete specific orders. You'll be earning victory points for that. And when the game is over, whoever has, of course, the most victory points is going to be the winner of the game. This is a light game. It's got a little bit of take that. It's very cute. It's, I think, meant to be sort of idyllic and nostalgic in a way. So, does it achieve all of those things that it seems like it sets out to do? Well, let's take a look at how it works. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you what I think of it. So here we're taking a look at what the game would look like, set up with 3 players. We have the display here, all the goodies that are rolling out from Grandma's oven. We have the 3 players. One of them is going to be the proactive child, which is this one, and another one is going to be the efficient child, which is going to be the player to that player's right, in this case over here. I will forget what those things are called, so just forgive me on that, but that's what it is, start player, and this is the basically start player for the second phase. And then we are ready to begin. What you're doing in the game is trying to get the most victory points, and you will continue to do that until the game is over by having a certain number of these in front of you. You're going to add up your victory points. The victory points on every one of these cards, every one of these orders you are attempting to fill, is going to be this one if you get the order exactly right, or the smaller number here if it isn't quite exactly right, and possibly bonus points from these coins here, each one worth 1. So, start player over here. The first thing you do is you roll the die. And that die is going to tell you one of 2 things. If it comes up with the grandma face, which we happen to get here, only perfect orders can be completed this round. The other sides, all of them, are for one of the different types of goodies, of sweets. And when that comes up, say croissants there, that's not a sweet, I guess, but croissants, every order completed that includes croissants is going to give you a 1-point bonus. So let's say for right now, let's go with cake, shall we? So cake is what came up. Great. Starting from the start player, you are going to take turns around the table putting out your 4 little jars. And they will go in between any 2 cards you want. So I'll play there. No one can play between those 2 exact cards anymore. This player is going to play there. This player then is going to go between these 2. So now that this part is done, and I've just gone ahead and sped through it, we are going to take everything that each player would receive, right? So, start player over here, I'm playing the tan color. We look at every card in sequence. So this one has 1 from each player. No one's going to get that. This goes to red. So the red player is going to get that. This goes to green. This one goes to tan, red, tan, 2 around that, 2 around this one. This is no one because there's a tie. This is greens, this is no one, and this is greens here. There we go. The rest of them, these can now go back to the players. The rest of them are going to stay there. And we are going to replenish all these. They kind of like roll, and then we replenish them for the next round, okay? I forget if you do this exactly right now or a little bit later, doesn't really matter. I'll just do it now so you see how this goes. Now that that's done, and we've gone around the table in the normal order starting from the start player, we go from this player in the opposite order, counterclockwise, fulfilling these over here, if possible. So, let's pretend this player had a cat here. Or this one, rather. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at what I need over here. I've got 3 cakes, 2 cookies, nothing I can complete with that, so that player is done. And then we go to this player. And this player has
2 donuts, 1 croissant, and 2 jars of jelly. Now, these are wild. This can be anything you want to, but you cannot split them up. It cannot be 1 cookie and 1 cake. They have to be 2 of the same thing. So I'll take a look over here, and can I do it? Not quite. Nope, can't do any of those. And this is going to happen a lot. You know, it's hard to complete these. And then finally we go to this player over here, which I gave an unfair advantage to, but that's because I want to explain the cat. This cat, when you play it on your turn to complete orders, you can discard the cat and steal a card from another player randomly. Really mean stuff. So I'll pull one from that player, and then I'll take a look and see if I can complete something. It looks like I can. I'm going to do 3 of the croissants, 2 cakes, 2 donuts, and this is exact. I could have overpaid, or I might have been forced to overpay, and if so, I would earn this card and get 7 points for it. As it is, I did it exactly right. I earned the card at 10 points, and it's got cake, so I get another point for that. These cards are used, are gone, set them aside. We replenish this, which we did. We put out replenished orders, and we are going to rotate these cards. This goes here, this goes to me over here, and we start again by rolling the die. Now it's donuts, and placing out all of these pieces, okay? So that's the general flow there. Again, if you roll the grandma side, you have to complete orders exactly. She does not abide any waste. That's pretty much that. You do have a hand limit in the game. You cannot go above that hand limit, or you'll discard down below that hand limit. And there's even an extra difficult mode, which I think is insane, to be honest, which says you would remove the jars of jelly so that there is no wild. You have to get everything exactly right. You cannot use this to be cake or pancakes or anything. So, again, I don't recommend that. There you go. That should be enough to give you an idea of how this works. You keep doing that until the game's over, add up your score. Whoever has the highest score is the winner. All right, there it is, Jumble Jam. Let's talk about this. I like a couple of things here in the game, but overall, I think it misses the mark. This is a below-average game for me. And it is, it seems to me, as I hinted at earlier, that the feeling of the game, the look of the game, don't really match what you are getting when you play the game. Those emotions aren't really the same. So let me see if I can expound on that, okay? I'll start with thematic ties. The theme is very pleasant. Like I said, it's nostalgic. I think it's meant to be kind of a feel-good game. There have been other games like this, games that have similar artwork, very pleasant, very welcoming, very warm. And usually the idea is that the game itself will be pleasant and welcoming and warm. That's not to say there isn't competition in the game. Not to say that there are moments of tension, but it's more like kind of tension as opposed to downright frustration. We'll come back to that. The aesthetics, I think, are also lovely. And again, they fold right into that idea of a welcoming, warm, beautiful afternoon at the family's bakery. That works. It looks like that. The things that I thought were just okay. Okay, game length. The game's a little long. The game's over when you have 4 perfect orders, however many imperfect ones, or you run through the deck. The reason it's long is because the feedback loop is not great. The cyclical nature of the turns doesn't progress anything. You don't feel like you're doing anything different the last third of the game than you are doing the first third of the game. And it outstays its welcome because of it. There is nothing I'm looking forward to except hopefully I can get some more of these things done, The ease of play. Some of the rules seem a little pointless, especially when compared to how lucky some of the abilities and actions and sort of moments in the game can be. Some of the restrictions seem a little punishing for, again, no good reason. This game has a hand limit. Why?
There's really not a good reason for that. This game has an action card that, like those cats, that you just get to steal a card from someone else. Someone who's possibly been collecting cards over 2, maybe 3 turns in order to complete an order. Why? That again seems to defeat the purpose of what the game I think is setting out to do, right? So the ease of play, the things that sort of get in the way, this goes one way and collecting orders goes the other way. Very strategic sounding, right? It sounds like, oh, that must be there because, it gives an advantage to both ends. Well, going first is not that big a deal. If you going first, laying out the first little jar is a very minor advantage. Being the first one to claim one of the orders that does not get replaced immediately, by the way, huge. Again, you could have been saving for 3 turns to then finally have somebody buy the thing you've been hoping to get yourself. And now you just sit around waiting. Again, there's a lot of frustration in the game. The 2 biggest negatives for me, replayability. It's not good. It's just the same thing over and over. Nothing else to say about that. And then tactics and strategy and luck. Swingy. The game is very swingy, but ultimately, all these, tactics that the game seems to suggest with its rules, not that there's that many rules. There aren't. I'm just saying, some of the rules that are there don't need to be there for how light this game is. And also, a lot of the rules that are in place make the game experience just really frustrating. This is one of those gnash your teeth kind of games where somebody takes a cat and plays it against you, steals the thing you need, and you just gnash your teeth a little bit. Somebody goes before you in the reverse order, plucks the card you needed to buy, and you just gnash your teeth a little bit. You finally have everything you need, but now you need to discard down to your hand size, so you gnash your teeth a little bit. These are all things that I don't think needed to be there. The die I haven't even talked about, which I find to be acceptable at best. The grandma side is really annoying. Again, you need to complete orders exactly when you're doing that. A little more teeth gnashing if you had an order you could do, but it wasn't perfect. So overall, yeah, it's just it misses the mark. I think the artwork is there, the theme is there, the game looks cute. I think it's going to be played, and the folks who play it will feel frustrated. I think it's going to propagate frustration in the group, especially if you're playing with a larger group, okay? It's a little bit better with fewer. With more players, there's going to be at least one person at the table, I'll say, that's going to feel like they're getting hosed in a game with 5 people. I just don't see it not happening every single time, So there you go. My bottom line is this is getting a 4 out of 10. I don't recommend it. There's too many games of the style that are light, cute. I would say you go play Herbaceous. Herbaceous is a very similar game. It's got a similar look, similar feel, similar vibe. Much better game. Interesting, engaging. None of this sort of hit you over the head frustration that this game brings to the table. So there it is. That is Jumble Jam. 4 out of 10 from me, folks. Thanks for checking this out. My name is Zee Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.